been trained in a way to watch a movie and take it at face value. And especially a comic book movie, because we've had so many movies come out now where it's The Rock in another crazy movie where a building explodes, or hey, look, it's the umpteenth Marvel movie that has a big CGI fight in the sky at the end. But and there's nothing wrong with that. That's cool. That's fun. You can take that at face value. But the downside to that is it trains you to take it at face value.
Yes.
So I've seen so many people online now going, "What was the point of him climbing into the fridge? What was the point of that? That was stupid."
I know.
You know, like, there's a brain in your head. You've got to use it. You've got to be analytical about this movie.
The last few weeks I went to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Tarantino movie. I saw Joker and I saw Ad Astra.
Yeah.
And they reminded me of the movie fan I used to be. And I want to be again. Because I've just been, we've used this comparison on the show before. I've just been eating McDonald's for the last 5 years.
Yeah. You need a steak, man.
I want to go out. I want to eat some fine dining.
You need a big whack of beef in you.
I want to go and see a movie again. And, I remember years ago, my brother, and he's obviously all grown up now, but he was only a kid, and I was out one night. It was when Donnie Darko came out in home release, and I'd been bought it for Christmas. And I came in, and he was lying in my bed, and he'd watched Donnie Darko. And I was like, "Oh, you probably shouldn't watch that. You're too young."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I know, but I really want to see it." And I was like, "Right." And I go, "What do you think of it?" And he said, "I absolutely loved it. I have no idea what it was about, but I know I loved it." And I thought, yes, that is the perfect. I want that. That's what I love. I came out of Joker. I knew I loved it, but I still needed to work through it.
Yeah.
And that's proper cinema. But I love the Joker. It's getting people in. It pretends it's a comic book movie when it's so much more.
It has the veneer of a comic book movie, but it has the reality of something akin to, say, American Psycho. There's a lot of Taxi Driver and King of Comedy in there as well.
Yeah.
But it's almost like someone's went along and almost like rotoscoped the Joker into what should be a really dark, gritty, serious movie.
Can we talk about Gotham? How beautiful was the cinematography?
Absolutely amazing. And not only that, but the time period as well. It all fit together so remarkably. And I don't know how they managed to play this, but it just seems like had this been set in the modern world, he would have been the Joker in the first 5 goddamn minutes of this movie. Because with social media and everything like that. So they kind of get around it by having the whole talk show angle, where TV was the big thing before the internet.
Yeah.
Everyone sat down and watched TV. There's a TV playing in his mother's hospital room. And he's watching De Niro's character do his show and take the piss out of Arthur and that sort of thing. And that is the thing that breaks him. And that's almost our analogy for what's going on in the modern day world. Where if you say something stupid online, or if you make a mistake and someone videos it or takes a picture, it's all over Facebook, it's all over Twitter, it's all on Instagram, and there's strangers lining up to mock you.
Yeah.
So I think that was a nice little bit of clever commentary on that this has always been happening. It's just that back then there were fewer outlets to show that, whereas today it's everywhere. So I like that about it. But as for the entirety of Gotham itself, it feels real, it feels lived, it feels run down. I don't know where they shot this movie.
Yeah, I thought it was New York to start off with, but I don't believe it was.
It's not New York.
No.
I don't think you can film in New York anymore.
Yeah.
Especially on an intimate scale like Joker had. But it just looks so dirty, it looks so grimy, it looks so run down, and it's a character in its own right in the movie, because we've heard so much about how everything's collapsing, society's collapsing, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and on the low levels where Arthur Fleck lives, you can see that everything's run down and dilapidated, whereas he goes to the event where he meets Thomas Wayne and everything's pristine and beautiful. Same thing with going to Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
Everything's pristine, everything's beautiful, everything's perfect in a way.
Sorry, Joker was filmed in New York City.
It was filmed in New York City?
It was filmed in New York, with additional filming taking place across the Hudson River in Jersey City.
Oh, Jersey City, yeah, that makes sense. But
the majority of it was, filmed largely in New York City.
Get out of town.
Yep, it was New York.
For real?
Yeah.
Jesus wept.
Often people think of New York City, they think of Manhattan, Times Square, Central Park, skyscrapers like the Empire State. These are more iconic sites, blah, blah, blah. Manhattan is just one of 5 boroughs that make up New York, along with Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Staten Island. Joker incorporated several of them while creating its own vision of 80s Gotham. Yeah, so it was filmed in New York.
Fair enough.
But it looked, oh God, it looked beautiful. For all the rack and ruin that was Gotham, I really just wanted to step into the screen.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be in that city. Anyway, so I gave it 5 out of 5 in my review.
Yeah.
What would you give it out of 5?
5 out of 5.
It's a 5 out of 5.
Like, honestly, to say that this movie gets a 5 out of 5 is almost like saying, it's almost like giving it a disservice in a way.
Yeah.
Like, you want to give it 6 out of 5. And for anyone that has given it 5 or lower, you have clearly misinterpreted this movie. Please go back and watch it again, because I've seen a lot of reviewers come out and they haven't even been associated with the press that have taken this almost don't support the movie because it'll support the rise of incels and it's a very dangerous movie and so forth. Like, even just regular people, like review critics that I watch online, anyone that gives it lower than a 10 and completely like doesn't understand or doesn't get what the movie's trying to do, they're torn apart for it in the comment section.
Yeah, I know. It's good. It's a good thing. One thing that a lot of people seem to be talking about is whether or not there's a sequel. Now, Joaquin Phoenix has said that he would be very happy to come back and do more with the character. What I want to see is not so much a sequel. I want to see a Mr. Freeze movie in that world. I want to see Man-Bat. I want to see Harvey Dent. I want to see... Do you know what I mean?
I think the next one out of the gate should be Harvey Dent.
I think so. Even Lex Luthor. Apparently, there's rumours that they're looking to do a Lex Luthor movie, which... Yeah, it could.
Wolf of Wall Street, basically.
Yeah. But I think I would love to see a more horror element done in that world.
Definitely. I've also heard a lot of people come out and say now that Todd Phillips has made this movie, they want to see him take on a fully fledged horror.
Yeah.
To see what he could do with it, because I mean, just the tone throughout this movie, and it's exacerbated just with every single scene. It just gets deeper and darker, and you feel yourself being pulled down with it.
There was actually one bit where, and I think I did say it out loud, I was like, Jesus, give me a break.
Yeah.
Give the guy a break.
Just where everything that could go wrong goes wrong for him.
Yeah.
But I think it almost had to show it to its extreme, because otherwise, why isn't everyone in Gotham Joker? Yeah. Like, you had to focus on this one guy where he'd had a very rough childhood, he'd been lied to, emotionally manipulated, abused, and everything kind of goes wrong for him. He has that weird little antisocial tick where he'll laugh, and especially the scene too where he's in the comedy club and he's watching the other performer, and the camera slowly tracks in on him, ignoring everyone else until it's just on his face, and all the while the comedian's like telling his jokes. There's the punchline. The entire crowd erupts in laughter, and then just one beat, and he titters. And it's beautiful. It just shows just how out of sync he is with the rest of the world.
And there is also, I think, did you say that story? There's a couple of very darkly funny moments in the movie as well.
Yeah, I mean, the one that stands out for me in particular is whenever he kills, the big guy that gave him the gun.
Yeah.
When he kills him, and it's such a horrible, horrible scene. Like, it's almost kept me awake at night because of how brutal and real it is. And it's not even the violence. It's the other guy, the English fella, that's sitting there in the background going, oh, why would you do that, Arthur? Why would you do that? And then it's immediately broken by the Joker going, bah, whenever he's telling him to leave.
Yeah.
And then he gets to the door.
Don't spoil the joke. Don't spoil it for anybody.
I'll not spoil the joke, but it's the part at the door that made me go, should I be laughing at this?
I laughed.
Is this a joke?
I laughed, and I think I was the only person in the cinema laughed, and I kind of felt bad. And then I thought, no, do you know what? That was clearly played for a really dark laugh. I don't care. It made me laugh. And then there's another scene where the two policemen are talking to the hospital as well that made me laugh.
The door scene again. There's a lot of door humour in this.
There's a lot of door humour. But look, you know what? If you haven't seen this movie, go and see this movie. It's not anything that you haven't seen before, violence-wise or psychological, but it's a movie that's going to make you think. And it's a movie that I really, really think needs to be supported, because in the world where comic book movies we're just saturated with comic book movies, it challenges and it does something smart and worth seeing. So I couldn't give this movie a higher recommendation.
No, me neither. It's simply sublime. I think it's this. People have to see this. This is the equivalent of last year's Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
This is like watching that Bumblebee movie that came out last year. It's taking something that's been done to death and putting such a beautiful, fresh new spin on it. And these are the types of movies that we need to be supporting right now. We need to show Hollywood that we're sick of their slop. We want something better.
It, to me, is kind of the modern Fight Club.
It is, yeah. It has tones of Fight Club in it too.
It's the modern Fight Club. It's it's into every generation.
Into every generation of Fight Club is born.
And this is our Fight Club.
Yeah.
Because Fight Club deconstructed masculinity and men at the time and everything else. I think this is what this movie does too. And by the way, for all the whole, just as well, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it, it's not about race. Joker could just have easily been a black guy or a woman or an Hispanic guy or an Asian guy or girl. It doesn't matter. It's just, he just happens to be a white guy, and that's not what the movie's about at all.
No, definitely not.
And it's just, you really, really need to go and see this. Right, okay.
20 years old this year's Fight Club as well.
Is it?
Yeah, 1999 it came out.
Oh my god, still one of my favourite movies of all time.
Oh yeah.
Right, so on to some of the smaller news of the week before we get into the big stuff. Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum are all back as Alan Grant, Ellie Sadler and Ian Malcolm for Jurassic World 3.
Hey, they finally put enough zeros at the end of that paycheck.
Yep, looks like. Did you see the trailer for the BBC's War of the Worlds?
I did, yes.
Oh
man,
how long have we waited for a proper War of the Worlds?
Yeah, so long now. So very long. Tom Cruise, stuff it. This is how you do it.
Yeah, it looks, Eleanor Tomlinson, Ray Spall, Robert Carlyle, Carlyle as Ogilvy as well as an inspired bit of casting. Yeah. But this looks amazing, and I know it's out in the next sort of few weeks, but to me that's real Christmas viewing. Like,
oh, definitely,
that's a Christmas movie there.
It almost does feel like it was made for the Christmas schedule, doesn't it?
Well, it was supposed to come out a long time ago, so maybe that's when we were supposed to see it. Apparently they sort of judged how much CGI they were going to need for it, but it looks amazing. Tony Todd might be returning as Candyman for Jordan Peele's upcoming new Candyman movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Todd's class, although I can't help feeling, even though he's a mythological creature, this would be a passing the torch kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Power Rangers Transformers movie apparently in the works.
It's not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers comic book.
Yeah.
No,
but Transformers is coming into that?
In the comics?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a movie.
Oh, this is a movie?
Yeah.
Animated or
well, apparently live action Power Rangers, because you know Hasbro own Power Rangers now, and they're trying to pull them into this. So to me, if this happens, it's probably where the shared universe thing's going to start.
Okay.
Do you know, to me,
a Megazord fighting a Decepticon?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take that.
To me, Transformers and Mask feel like such a natural...
Yeah.
You know,
mobile armored strike command.
Mask is class.
Yeah.
You know, it just feels like the Mask technology would come from Transformer technology.
Yeah.
You know?
I can see that. I can see that.
Where that would come from.
I was a huge fan of the Power Rangers movie that came out a couple of years back.
I really liked it, and I don't know anything about Power Rangers.
I thought it was wonderful. And I'm an OG Power Rangers fan.
Yeah. My brother's the same. He loved the movie.
Yeah, I grew up whenever Mighty Morphin, that was the first ever American version of the show that came out. So naturally, you would expect me to go into this and go, this is different, this is wrong, like, screw this. They nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. It's not one of those movies where there was a lot of heart and soul in it, and just not enough people went to see it.
Yeah. No, I really liked it. I went to see it just because I felt I needed to see it, and I came out of it, I went with my wife and the kids, and we all came out and were like, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I came out of it going, I need to go to Krispy Kreme. And also liking it too. Yeah. John Hurt is back as Thunderbolt Ross in Black Widow. You never get tired of seeing John Hurt. No, you do not.
In all fairness. Isn't it John Hurt?
Yeah. Isn't it? William Hurt.
William Hurt.
Yeah, John Hurt's dead.
John Hurt is dead. William Hurt. Yeah, big fan of William Hurt, so yeah, please.
Yeah.
Interesting one. We've been inundated with a lot of images from the Crisis on Infinite Earth crossover. Loads of images of Brandon Routh as Superman and stuff, looking very cool.
Looking very Kingdom Come as well.
Yeah. But this one really got my interest, and I messaged you and I messaged a load of people, and everybody's like, oh my god. Mark Guggenheim, somebody tweeted him and posted a picture of Nicolas Cage as Superman from The Death of Superman movie.
Superman Lives.
And he wrote... The guy tweeted him and said, do it, you cowards, do it. And Guggenheim wrote, what makes you think we didn't reach out?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Even just for a second.
It could be him just trolling with the guy.
He probably is just trolling.
But holy hell.
Amazing.
Hi, I'm the last son of Krypton.
Also, in the last couple of days, we got a lot of images and video of Cress Williams, who plays Black Lightning, with...
oh my god! Do you know who Nicolas Cage should play? Bizarro!
Yeah.
Bizarro Superman.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Anyway, we're talking about
Make it happen!
We're talking about Cress Williams here.
Anyway, yes, Cress Williams.
Photographs of him on the set, so he's officially part of the wider Arrowverse universe now.
About time.
And he even shared a video himself on Instagram, I think it was, where he was sitting at the controls of the Wave Rider, and he's just pushing buttons and stuff.